What's the most ridiculous complaint someone has ever made about you? I thought I was losing my mind when I got the first noise complaint. I just moved into this apartment complex with my 9-year-old son Caleb, and we were already dealing with enough stress. New school, new doctors, new everything. See, Caleb was born deaf, and moving somewhere new meant starting over with all his support systems. So when the property manager handed me this official complaint form with my full name and apartment number, I stared at it like it was written in another language. The handwritten note at the bottom made my stomach drop. Your kid is stomping around like an elephant. This is harassment. Control him. I actually laughed out loud because it was so absurd. Caleb doesn't stomp. He barely makes any noise at all. If anything, I sometimes worry he's too quiet. But then I remembered something his physical therapist had told us. After years of balance issues from his hearing loss, she wanted him practicing these deliberate, confident steps around the apartment. Strong steps, she called them, to help him build spatial awareness. I marched down to the office with the complaint and tried explaining this to the property manager. I even brought the therapist's official letter describing the exercises. The guy just shrugged and said, well, try to keep him light on his feet. Like my kid was choosing to be disabled or something. Things got weird after that. I started hearing these low-frequency thuds coming from below us at random times. Boom, boom, boom. When I asked my downstairs neighbor if he was hearing strange noises too, he just smirked and walked away. Then one morning, I found earplugs duct taped to my front door with a note. Maybe these will help the stomper. I was furious but tried to stay calm until the cop showed up. My neighbor had called the police claiming we were making deliberate stomping noises and that I was abusing disabled status to avoid eviction. I stood there in my doorway, speechless, watching this officer take notes while my neighbor stood behind him nodding like he'd caught us red-handed. I showed the cop everything. The therapy paperwork, the threatening notes, even pulled out my phone to record Caleb doing his walking exercises. Barefoot, arms out for balance, taking these careful, measured steps across our living room. The officer watched for maybe 30 seconds before saying, "Ma'am, this looks like a civil harassment issue to me." That's when I snapped. I filed for a restraining order. Court day was surreal. The judge asked Caleb to demonstrate his walking therapy right there in the courtroom. My kid, bless him, did his exercises perfectly, while this grown man sitting across from us insisted it was psychological warfare, designed to make his life miserable. The judge stared at the footage for what felt like forever, then asked my neighbor if he had any medical evidence of intentional stomping. The guy started ranting about how we were targeting him specifically, how this was all planned out to drive him crazy. Restraining order granted. But here's the kicker. 3 months later, I'm getting my mail when I see a moving truck outside. My neighbor was loading boxes, and when he saw me, he actually had the nerve to walk over and say, "I hope you're happy. You ruined my life over some kid's tantrum." I looked at him and said, my son wasn't having a tantrum. He was learning to walk confidently after years of struggling with balance issues because he's deaf, but thanks for teaching us both that some people will complain about anything. He just stood there for a second, and I swear I saw something click in his face. Like maybe for the first time he realized what he'd actually been doing. Then he mumbled something about not knowing and walked back to his truck. The new neighbors who moved in are amazing. Their daughter is actually learning sign language to talk with Caleb.